From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a huge night here on Evenings LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check, that monthly stimulus check that starts the month of July. In this recording, we go over how much you're going to get and the breaking news that unfolded about the push for the vote sooner than later. We'll go over how much you're going to get and why this breaking news is incredibly great news. Then in the second half of this recording, we're going over the fifth stimulus package that'll raise your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, and survivor benefits, and how the applying of a benchmark of inflation will be a life-changing event. Then we're going to compare it also to the Warren plan and see why it pays you a lot more than the Warren plan ever would have. In the middle of this recording, going over thousands of dollars is available for you right now, and I have a new tracker tool on how to track that money. And also, we have a Janet Yellen scandal that's erupting today. Boy, there's a lot going on. It's a big night. It's a big evening, and we're going to get to it starting right now on Evenings LALATE. It's Evenings LALATE, and congratulations, you are just 2 days away from the weekend, so time to bust a groove. Tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. Here it is cooled off before this early evening crawls upon us here live in Los Angeles, and boy, it has been a warm week, but today was cooler. So how's the weather where you are, and tell me where you're tuning in from. This is your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 tonight. And in the recording, we're going to go over how much you're going to get and the breaking news, some forming just today in the last few hours, some yesterday, and some over the last few days, which are absolutely incredible, great news. No less than 6 breaking news stories I'm going to be going over about this multiple stimulus checks. In the second half of this recording, we're going to go over fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits up and the applying of a benchmark of inflation, why that is such great news and why it's a lot more than Elizabeth Warren was going to give you. I'm going to compare and contrast that in this video. In the middle of this video, we're going to go over the thousands of dollars that viewers are getting every single few hours from this channel, and I want to go over how you can get it as well. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour a day, 7 days a week financial news channel, broadcasting live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. Right before this show was taped was Afternoons LA. You missed it, it's now on the channel. Go take a look at it. And coming up 2 hours after this is Evenings Crypto, followed by 30 minutes after that with our new hit overnight show, 12 hours, called Overnight Crypto. So subscribe, 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. So subscribe. Also hit that like button, 1, 2, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. All right, let's get right to that fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus heats up with a monthly stimulus check bill from the House, written by a person whose name may be familiar to you by now, Jalapal. Jalapal's House proposal provides a stimulus check every month, and we're going to compare that against the monthly stimulus checks from the Senate. So Jalapal provides a stimulus check every month for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The senators provide a stimulus check for July to December. And if you're watching this when the show debuts at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, get ready to vote in the live chat, Senate versus House. But not just yet. Let's look at the monthly amount. The House bill from Jalapal provides $2,000 the first month, $1,000 every month thereafter. The Senate proposal, the amount is unknown, but word on the street is the Senate amount is this. Wow. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000 a person. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400 a person. Now let's go back to Jalapal's bill in the House and let's see why Jalapal's bill may get modified, not because of the language, but because of what's going on around the globe. Jalapal's bill provides pandemic plus 1 year, but some insiders believe that by the time the vote occurs, legislators may believe the pandemic is over. If that's the case, then Jalapal's bill would provide 12 months of stimulus checks, not pandemic plus 1 year, but 1 year. And what is 12 months of stimulus checks under Jolly bill? $13,000. Let's compare $13,000 over 12 months compared to the Senate proposal, which is this amount, potentially over half the amount of time. All right, with that, jump in the live chat or in the pin into the comments if you're watching this tape and vote House versus Senate and say where you're from. All right, let's go over the other items of forced stimulus starting right now. First, who gets it? You do. So if you got the third stimulus check, you get the fourth stimulus check. Same eligibility. Single individual, $75,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Just double it. Household, 4 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And yes, if it's a household of 6, you only gain 4. And then if you're on benefits, you get the fourth stimulus check. That's SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, and similar, you get the fourth stimulus check. Is it income? No. Is it taxable? Nope. Is it coming in waves? It can't come in waves. It's a monthly stimulus check. Remember, I'm just a reporter. I just report the news. They're the legislators. They make the representations, and they represent. The vote will be no later than by July 4th. So that means check would come in July, 4th July, August, for August. Is there a different check amount for different people? No. So adult dependents, minor dependents, everyone going to get the same stimulus check. Taken out for child support? We don't know that answer just yet. And then finally, how are they doing this? They have nearly finished writing the bills they represent. That is that 2-bill, 2-step, 2-month process called reconciliation. They just need to call the vote. Wow, exciting, great news. And boy, that is your fourth stimulus check updated 2021 today. But I got no less than 6, almost 7 breaking news stories, some in the last few hours, some in the last few days, which I'm going to go over cumulatively with you because they are snowballing. And that's coming up later in this recording. But first, let me give you a preview of the second half of this recording. It's fifth stimulus. And fifth stimulus is in the fall, and it raises your benefits up one big time and then applies a benchmark. Whose benefits? SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, and then applies a benchmark of inflation. Later in this recording, I'm going to go over why that benchmark could change your benefits lifetime through the roof and far more than Elizabeth Warren was going to give you. Wow. Now let's turn to some big money. And I had 2 more viewers since just noontime who actually dropped in the noontime comments. Barb and I think it was Eliza who got rent, or at least just reported to getting rent to me. I'm really excited for them. So we're not going even just a few hours and viewers telling me between shows, I got rent, I got SNAP, I got utilities. I love that. If you're a success story, even if you got to $100 or $10, drop in the comments because it inspires me. It motivates other viewers, and we're going to get to that money right now. If you haven't got to that money, we're going to get to it. And if you had, I'm going to try to get you more money starting right now. The federal government has sent out $350 billion to your city, counties, and states for you to get. It's money for you, so it's your money. Go get it. And that money is the single biggest payout, a third stimulus. So I'm going to go over that money. And boy, stay with me to the end of this video because I got a lot of money throughout this entire video. Get a pen and paper ready because I got a lot of money and it's starting right now with rent. Rent, utilities, homeowners mortgage, and homeowners utility assistance are all part of third stimulus, which are landing in your city, county, and state this week and next week. And it's a lot of money. Rent is about $5,000 a person, 4 to 6 months of rent. Then you get utilities, a couple hundred to a couple thousand, then mortgage, and then homeowners utilities. Boy, let's get to the details starting right now. Where do you get it? 6 places. Hope you got that pen and paper ready. Here we go. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. What are the key words you say? Rent assistance because of COVID. That's all you say. Rent assistance because of COVID. You can say Biden Economic Recovery Act, but do not say stimulus. And there you go. $5,000 for rent, about 4 to 6 months. All locations have different eligibility. So if you get a no, reach out to the next one. They do different eligibilities and they have their own pot of money. All right, let's get to the next pot of money, and that is SNAP. SNAP is incredible. And yeah, I go no less than about 3 hours a day now with another success story where someone says, I got Snap, or Lynn Glenn last night said her son got an increase on Snap. He already had Snap, but he got an increase. I'm just so excited for her and her son. So let's go over Snap. What is it? It's money for food. If you got a third stimulus check, you probably qualify for this money for food. How do you get it? Reach out to Department of Agriculture, or DOA, also call 211 and get connected over. And how much money is it? It's a lot of money. A family of four in Hawaii now gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Why so much money? Because of two executive orders, one from Trump and one from Biden, that raises up everyone's SNAP for 1 year till December by 15%. So go get that SNAP. Boy, so $15,000 for $16,000 for SNAP in Hawaii for a family of four, and $5,000 for rent 4 to 6 months. We're doing really well. We're only 10 minutes of this video, and I got some automatic money, and I also got some tracking information for the automatic money. Let's get to it. First, from the states. States are returning thousands of dollars to residents and viewers. One viewer is getting $5,000. And this is big money. I'm going to go over what it is, then how you get it, and finally, where you're going to get it, when you're going to get it. All right, first, what is this money? So the federal government has identified states as overpaying unemployment benefits to some of its citizens to no fault of the citizens at all due to computer malfeasance. And then those states asked the citizens to return the money, and they did. The federal government has said, nope, that was the citizens' money to keep. The federal government has ordered the states to return it back to the citizens, saying it was not their fault. It's their money to keep. Wow. And yeah, one viewer is getting $5,000 back. So next, how do you get the money? Into the account that you have on file with your Department of Unemployment. Finally, when? Every state has different routing times. Some states have started. All right, now if you want to know your respective state's routing time, reach out to your respective state. All right, now let's go to another pot of money, and this is incredible. It's coming from the federal government, IRS and Treasury. I'm going to go over how much it is, then how you get it, then when you get it, and also how you track it. First, what is it? It's the taxes you pay to IRS Treasury on your 2020 unemployment benefits. Here's an example. You had $9,000 of unemployment benefits. You paid a $5,000 total tax bill to IRS, of which $4,000 was your taxes on your 2020 unemployment. Congratulations, you're getting back $4,000. All right, next, how? In the mail, in a beige and white envelope. I did a lot of videos a few days ago talking about how not to displace that envelope. It is razor thin, so be careful with the mail. Beige or white envelope, super thin. Inside is the beige check, IRS Treasury to you, subject line, refund. Finally, when? Everyone is getting paid out by the end of May, but it could take into early June to get the payments. So single filers are phase one. They were sent out last week, non-complicated returns, single filers. Single filers, complex returns like dependents, other refunds were started last week, continuing this week. And then middle and later part of this week are joint filer returns like husband and wife. Finally, if you want to track the money, you can track it. Go to irs.gov, go inside the website, set up a username and password, put in your social security number, do a transcript search. It's called a transcript search. And it'll pull up all activity you have with IRS, like your 2020 tax return, like your payment to IRS of the 2020 tax return, and now the payment back from IRS to you. There you go. And with that great news, I think it's time for some fourth stimulus check, multiple stimulus check, great news. And boy, there is a lot of it. We are upwards of 6 to 7, I'm losing track, 6 to 7 breaking news stories, some within the last few hours, some a week ago, so last Friday. I'm going to go over chronologically through all of them so you understand how they're snowballing. And it's just absurd. It's just really, really wonderful news. So we're going to start with the very first one, which of course is Talabog, is Jalabog again. So when we talked about the monthly stimulus checks and we were looking at the different pictures, we were looking at the Senate versus House, we were talking about the House plan, remember? And we were talking about Jalabal. So what's important to understand is that what did that legislator do? Just days ago, Jalapal wrote Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi a letter and said, call the vote. Wow. So why is John Paul saying call the vote? Because the legislation has been written, the two-step, 2-month process, it's already been written. And they're tired of sitting around waiting. They just said, call the vote. What are we doing here? Now, here's what you need to know, is that when Jalapal wrote the original multiple stimulus check bill in the House, over 100 House Democrats signed a letter to the president saying, we're going to put this into the fourth stimulus. And at the same time, a handful of Senate Democrats wrote a separate letter to the president saying, if the House doesn't take care of the multiple stimulus checks, we will take care of it when we get the bill to the Senate in the vote-a-rama. Well, guess what happened? Not only did Jalapal write a letter to Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi saying call the vote, but the letter was signed by dozens of legislators who are among those who signed the letter to the president saying, we're going to put the Jalapal monthly stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Wow. And it gets better. Then on Friday, last Friday, this letter came out. And this letter was from 7 House Democrats to the president this time, to the actual president, saying, we're going to work with you to put multiple stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Now, work with you is a euphemism because these legislators actually put the fourth stimulus check package language together. They write it. The president doesn't. He's not a legislator. What they're saying is, we're going to take care of it, but we just want to talk it through with you. But why would they take care of it? Who are these people? They are on the subcommittee that actually writes stimulus checks. Oh my goodness. So they are on the House subcommittee called the House Ways and Means Subcommittee that actually writes the stimulus check languages. They wrote the first, they wrote the second, they wrote the third, and now they're telling the president, we're going to work with you to put those multiple stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Wow, if that can't be any more obvious than it is. I think Captain Obvious is walking behind me. Boy. And then the president on Friday stepped in. The president on Friday said, basically, I've not seen a decent counteroffer from the Republicans, and I'm not really coming down on my number. So guess what? We're calling the vote after Memorial Day weekend. I will have meetings with try to attempt to have more meetings with Republicans day after day, have a lunch, have another lunch, and have one more lunch. But after Memorial Day weekend, we're not having any more of these lunches. I mean, I'll have lunches with Jill, but not with the Republicans. So, wow. Everyone thought this was great news, except that one viewer said, but Memorial Day weekend, September. No, that's Labor Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend is this weekend. So we are on now on Wednesday night. So we got only 2 more lunches to deal with. You know, pizza and chicken, and even if it's bad chicken, we're done. Then off to the voting. Boy, oh boy. He has told those legislators, get ready to vote after Memorial Day weekend because I'm not doing any more negotiations after the end of this Friday. Wow. And then came the news on Monday, which is a little complex. So I'm going to slow it down for you, make it simple and easy to follow. That's how I do it on this channel. But it's insanely great news. So the president on Monday said that he had reached out to the G7 economic countries around the globe and said that they had agreed tentatively to a global minimum corporate tax rate of 15%. What does that mean? What is the global minimum tax rate? What does that mean? So the fourth stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. here corporate tax rate from 21% to a higher percentage. The president originally wanted it up to 28%. The moderate Democrats said that's too high, come down lower. He said deal, 25%. They said deal. That was weeks ago. So that's the U.S. tax rate. But the concern was that corporations may leave the United States and go, let's say, to France, where the corporate tax rate is lower. So what the president has been working with global leaders of the G7 is to reach an agreement tentatively on a global minimum corporate tax rate. And apparently they have 15%. That was the breaking news on Monday. But the president then also told insiders, and now this is the huge one. This is really, really huge, is the president told insiders that if he gets this tentative agreement with the G7 countries, after he passes the fourth stimulus, after the stimulus checks go out, obviously, then he'll come back and he'll reduce our U.S. corporate tax rate back down to 21%. Oh my goodness. Why? Because at 21%, we would not be competitive with other G7 countries if they're at 15%. Boy, so we'd actually get stimulus checks, and then months later, the president would drop the corporate tax rate back down again. Lord, that's really great news. And then came the big news late yesterday when the President of the United States got a counteroffer from the Republicans, not all the Republicans, just I think it was 3 or 4, raising their offer from $500 billion to $1 trillion, which is still a fraction of what the president's asked. No deal, which is great news. Away we go to a vote. Oh, boy. And there you go. Away we go. Well, away you go, because I want you to head over to the volunteers on the community page. If you're having problems finding rent, utilities, homeowners assistance, even the internet, the free internet. If you've made the effort and called those 6 locations and can't find it on your own, usually you can. But if you can't, then reach out to the volunteers. They are viewers just like you. They're salt of the earth. And they step forward to help other viewers as well, just like you. They're on the community page. Where's the community page? It's in the description to this video. Open the description. You'll see an emoji of a house. Next to the emoji of the house is a link to the webpage, news.lalate.com/community. It sends you to the community page that has a picture of some cats on it. Lower on the page of the volunteers, they can help you with those items, and they are available for your assistance. And guess what? I'm available for you in 60 seconds. So stay here. I'll be back in about 60 seconds with more exciting news about forced stimulus, that Janet Yellen scandal. Boy. I can't believe this one. And then that 5th stimulus. Stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LALATE with big exciting details still coming up about your 5th stimulus package that raises up your benefits and more about 4th stimulus. I have some big surprises and also that Janet Yellen scandal. Boy, how are you this evening? How are you tuning in? Tell me where you're tuning in from and where you're watching from and how the weather is. This is LALATE, your 24 hours a day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Next on air in 2 hours from now with Evenings Crypto. Subscribe. I don't want you to miss a single video across the board. It's 400,000 subscribers. Next step, 1 million. Get us there. Share the videos on Facebook and Reddit and Instagram. Also, like this video. 1, 2, 3,000 likes. Let's do it. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Later in this video, you're going to see why membership is very important in view of these multiple stimulus packages at play at the same time. Let's cut to the next one, which is at play, which is 5th stimulus. 5th stimulus is incredible because it provides SSI and SSDI reform. Let's go over what that means, starting right now. They're going to raise your benefits up, then apply a new asset limit, then add an inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. I'm going to go over all those details, the breaking news, and explain to you why it's better than the Warren plan. All right, first, let's go over how this works. First, they represent that under the 5th stimulus, they're going to raise your benefits up to a big new number. This would be your big new number going forward. Who's you? You. So if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, this is you. Then they will apply a new benchmark, and that benchmark will be inflation. Now, everyone knows what inflation is, but what is a benchmark? Every December, you get a letter that says next year your benefits are staying the same or they're going up a little bit. Why are they determining that? It's based upon the benchmark. Now, we all know inflation has a percentage, so we know you're going to go up something. But here's what you need to know about how benchmarks work. They either raise your benefits up or they stay the same. They do not ever drop you down. So here's what you need to know is that the inflation rate this December may be the highest in a generation. And this is huge news for you because that would step you up, not just this year, but a lifetime. This is how it works. Well, first, let me go over the inflationary rate first, and then I'll give you an example. So Jeremy Siegel about a week ago said the inflation rate may be 20%. That may be on the high end. Then the Atlanta Federal Reserve said the growth rate is going from 4% now to 10.5% later this year in December. That could mean 7%. Analysts over the last few days have talked about 4 to about 7% inflation. So let's use 6% as an example. Here you go. This is how they would do it. First, fifth stimulus would raise your benefits up one time to a big new number. Then in December, they'd look at the inflation rate. Well, if the inflation rate is 6%, you would step up for 6%. But that's where you would be lifetime. Once you step up, you never step down. So if the year after that it's 0 inflation, you don't step down. You still stay at +6. If the year after that it's 3% inflation, then you step up another 3%. You would be +6, +3, lifetime. Wow. That's great news. Then let's go over the other items of fifth stimulus with that SSI reform. They're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 on hand. It's going to go away just in time to get those stimulus checks in the bank account. Then they're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't keep more, that you can't work and also stay on benefits. Great to get that gone. So if you want to work, you don't have to, but if you want, you can bring home some money, $1,000, $2,000 a month, and still stay on benefits. And finally, the big winner, getting rid of the marriage penalty, which is horrible. You can't get married because you're going to lose your benefits. Now that marriage penalty is going away. Love is going to win. Love is going to conquer all because the marriage penalty is going away. That means you could marry your love interest and not lose benefits, and you could be married and not be penalized anymore. This is fifth stimulus. It heats up fifth stimulus in September. It's a 2 month process. The likely benefits to hit your bank account around November-ish, and then the step up you'll learn about in December for January. But what's important to understand is that this is a lot more than Elizabeth Warren was ever going to give you. Why? Here's a lot of reasons why. First, Elizabeth Warren was not going to tie your benchmark to inflation. She was going to use CPIE. Inflation is the bigger number. Inflation is the bigger number because if inflation does really go as high as most think it will, this will raise your benefits lifetime. It's an insanely big life-changing achievement. Second, this proposal gets rid of some stuff that Elizabeth Warren was never going to do. She was never going to do the asset or the income exclusion or the marriage penalty. And finally, the impact of these things this year, when things are very high, like inflation, is a lot more money than Warren's plan was going to give you. So there you go. It's important to know that changing the subject just a little bit, is that the fifth stimulus has a lot of other items in there besides SSI and SSDI reform. But in a video that's 30 minutes in length, that's already at 28 minutes, I don't have enough time to go over what else is in the fifth stimulus package. But the president calls the fifth stimulus package the American Jobs Plan. The problem is that there's a lot of stuff in there that's for single people. Excuse me, he calls it the American Family Plan. The problem is that there's a lot of money in there that's not for families. There's single individual money. There's hazard pay money. There's money for seniors who are single. And so the only way to really get a best sense of that is really by becoming a member. Membership, which appears at the top of the video and in the pinned comment, membership gives you access to all the provisions that are in the third, the fourth, and the fifth stimulus packages, because I don't have time in a given video to cover everything. For example, the fifth stimulus has those other provisions in there besides just the SSI reform. In addition, fourth stimulus has a lot of other stuff that I don't have time to cover in a single video. And importantly, third stimulus has a lot of money still available for you to get. And even more important is that these stimulus packages are overlapping in the next few weeks. Here's an example. In July, Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi represent that no later than July 4th, the vote will be for the 4 stimulus checks. That means you'll get the stimulus check in the month of July under the 4th stimulus package. Well, guess what also happens in July? The 3rd stimulus bill law from months ago is sending out the children's check. Yeah, at the same time, they're doing the 4th stimulus check. And guess what's also in the month of July? Calling the vote on the budget bill, which has nothing to do with these bills. But if you looked at the budget bill, you're looking at the wrong bill and you say, where's the stimulus in this? That's the wrong bill. So it can get very complicated. There's a lot of things happen at the same time. Here's even more important. It's breaking news just today. A new political report released today polled Democrats who are supporters of the president if they knew anything about the 4th stimulus or the 5th stimulus package. Over 50% of them admitted they knew nothing about the 4th stimulus, knew nothing about 5th stimulus. And of the people who knew something about it, the remainder that said they did know something about it said they knew very little and were very confused which one was which. That is why viewing this channel, at least as a subscriber, is helpful, because information is power. Information empowers you. And with information, you get to know where things are because it's your money. All right, let's go back to 4th stimulus and then Janet Yellen scandal. 4th stimulus has some items in it and some items not in it. Not in it is the money for rent and homeowners. So homeowners and renters money, which I covered early in this video from 3rd stimulus, is not coming back in the 4th stimulus package. So if you need that money, go get it right now. That's why I'm really pushing to get that money. Eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance going away. So go get that money right now. But then the big surprise is that those 7 Democratic legislators from the House Ways and Means Committee also sent a letter to the president, said they're going to put in that 4th stimulus package an extension of federal unemployment benefits. What? Which ones? I don't know. It's very vague. So it could be PUA, it could be FPUC, it could be PEUC, it could change how it's done. It's a very fluid situation. I have no idea which ones they're going to try to put into the 4th stimulus package, and this is certainly a new revelation. So I will watch the situation. It's still fluid and give you updates as it happens. Finally, that Janet Yellen scandal. I'm just surprised by it. So Janet Yellen, as you know, is your Treasury Secretary. And if you've been with this channel for a year, you knew I used to cover a lot of EIDL. Well, the EIDL grant of 2020 still has not paid a lot of people the remainder of their $10,000 grant. They're waiting for the invite, or they were applied and they didn't get it. And then there's that $5,000 EIDL grant under the 3rd stimulus. A lot of people have not gotten, most people have not gotten. And then there's the PPP program that ran out of money recently, and they're just taking a few more applications now. Those are all administered by the SBA House Subcommittee. So where was Janet Yellen required by the Constitution to appear today? Before them. And where was she? Not appearing. And why did she not appear? She said, I'm busy. I have other stuff to do. And I have no intentions to appear at another time. Boy, who got angry? The Democrats on the House Subcommittee. And the chairman of the House Subcommittee on SB, on small business, wrote Janet Yellen and says, your constitutional obligation to show up. Her response was, I'm showing up at the Senate. Wait a second, you have to show up in both under the Constitution and report on a regular, on a recurring basis. So this discussion is far from over. I have no further comment on this one, but there's a lot of people who are still unpaid for business items on this channel, and the fact that she's not showing up to the subcommittee to report why the payments have not been made. Yeah, there you go. So guess what? I'm back with you in 2 hours from now with Evenings Crypto. Join me with that big hit show. A lot of people are loving it. People are saying they're getting informed, and one person sent me a very, very nice message on Facebook and Instagram about 2 hours ago, said the most informative, most fun, and most in-depth crypto channel on YouTube right now. Wow, that was really a nice message from that nice viewer. So join that show. It's in about 2 hours from now. Viewers make a lot of money, and it's easy breezy, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm in the live chat with you. So subscribe. Also, like this video. Consider becoming a member so you know what's in the 4th, 3rd, and 5th stimulus package. And see you in about 2 hours from now. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful evening. I hope it doesn't get too warm. I'll be with you all weekend long, recording all throughout the weekend. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LALATE for more.